The violence in that country intensifies. The world is also watching the global oil prices. Paul, we've been already seeing international markets push up this benchmark prices of oil. Is this a purely reactionary response to the unrest in that country, or should countries brace for even higher prices from here on?
Well, the escalating tensions in Iraq come at the worst time as Western countries hit their seasonal peak demand. Iraq has the world's fourth largest reserves of oil, with exports reaching 2.5 million barrels per day in April. But the key factor here is if Iraq falls further into instability, disrupting southern supply lines at the heart of the country's oil industry. Our Connie Lee has more.
The worsening crisis in Iraq is causing concerns in the international community about oil output and oil prices. At production of about 3.3 million barrels a day, Iraq is the world's second biggest oil producer, after Saudi Arabia, in the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. And according to the International Energy Agency, the country accounts for roughly 4% of global oil production. Making matters worse, OPEC says that global consumption will increase sharply in the last quarter of 2014, and the organization plans to produce more to meet demands. Worries of a civil war breaking out in Iraq have startled markets and pushed the international benchmark to a 3-month high above $110 a barrel.
We are still very sensitive what goes on in the Middle East. There's no question that spills over, and that's reflected in the Brent price usually. And it's a global market, so everything is interrelated. So what goes on there affects us also.
Surging oil prices could also have an impact on Korea. According to the Korea National Oil Corporation, Iraq is the nation's 5th largest oil supplier, making up nearly 8% of its imports. The 100 or so Korean companies operating in Iraq are watching the turn of events closely. An emergency meeting in Seoul on Sunday, attended by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy, and officials from state-run and private sector firms, concluded that Korean companies in Iraq have not yet been affected by the unrest. Connie Lee, Arirang News.